Okay, so for this next section, we're going to be looking at spiral guard or reverse de la Riva. Okay, so entering it first and then some attacks options off of it. So I'm going to start again with my partner managing to step to the inside. Okay, but this time I'm going to hook my foot on his thigh, and he's not going to be squatting down too much. So he could be squatting down, say, at the start, but he's not driving his knee down to the floor like previously. Okay, so I don't really need to worry about framing and throwing my leg over the top. Okay, have more direct attack. So I'm going to hold behind his knee. I'm going to extend my leg. I can hold behind his ankle to stop him running away, for example. So my partner tries to turn and run, I can push my knee away from my chest and pull with my hand on his heel to stop him running. Okay, as he turns back to face me, I can be putting my foot back to the inside. Okay, so my free leg is here. I'm going to hold behind the knee to keep a bend in it and keep him from running away as I switch my right hand from outside the heel to the inside of the heel. I also need to step on his hip, right, so I have good connection to him. So here, as I let go of my right hand, if he tries to run away, okay, I should have good enough control where I can shoot my right hand all the way through, okay, and then catch my shin. So from here, my partner's always aware that if I can get this grip behind his knee, okay, I'm going to start to be able to invert through his legs. So he's going to keep this leg a bit further back, exactly, yeah, so it's out of range, right? So I need good options to basically start to spin myself, invert through, without necessarily exposing this leg. So firstly, we'll do a couple off balances that I can use. So I'm going to just tip my knee in this direction. So maybe it's hard to see, but basically pointing my knee in this direction and pulling with my shin to get him stepping backwards and forwards. My second leg can also kick behind that leg to pull myself in. So there's two options you can use to basically move your partner's back leg forwards and backwards to help you invert. Okay, so if I'm not going to look to invert, or if my partner just decides straight away to start to turn without me doing anything, this is when I'm going to look for an inversion straight settle. So I do a half invert, okay, and I'm going to let my shin pass in front of my partner's shin. Okay, my second foot could still be on the hip here, right, because it's going to help me lift my hips off the floor, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there the whole time, right? I lift my hips off the floor, my shin comes to the inside of my partner's knee, and as soon as it does, my hand replaces and I'm pulling myself up to drive my knee back inside between my partner's legs. Okay, from here I'm going to pummel my foot to the inside and cross my legs. So if my partner continues rolling, right, it'll be easy for me to take him down, but what he'll probably be looking to do is stand up and start to push my knee down below the line of his knee. So if he can just stuff my leg down like this, okay, obviously I'm going to lose position and then I might get countered. So we're here, okay, I managed to get my underhook reverse de la Riva, and my second foot's on the hip. I turn my hips halfway, so I'm doing a half invert. My shin clears his knee, I hold behind the knee, and then drive my knee back between my partner's legs. From here, I'm going to triangle my legs and aim to hook my toes on my partner's butt here. Okay, so it makes it harder for him to push my knees down. I'm also going to flare my knee against his hip, right, to again make it harder for him to push my knee down. So from here, I need one good strategy to basically take my partner down to the floor. If I switch my right hand over the top from here, I'm more likely to lose the position as I'm doing that. Okay, so if he pushes down now, it's going to be pretty easy for him to push down if I switch to an overhook. Okay, if you can reach your partner's second leg, I would recommend you do that, right? But if you already start with an underhook, it's going to be very difficult. So if we start here, it's hard for me to reach that second leg, right, without him pushing my knee down. So what I'm looking to do is use my left hand here and go for the big toe. Okay, and I'm going to bridge into the side of my partner's knee whilst holding both hands on the big toe and with my toe here along my partner's hips. Okay, the further across you can get it here on his far hip, the better. So here I have a good control over his big toe. So if he continues trying to roll, okay, I can just hold the big toe, and if he continues trying to roll here, I have a lateral knee bar where I can just pull the toes into my chest and bridge, aiming to get the knee going sideways whilst the toes go in the opposite direction to get the finish. Okay, if my partner stays where he is once I start doing this, or for example just lift his hips up, okay, I won't get the tap, right? But what I can do is kick and sit up and then start to look for the second leg. Okay, so do it from a different angle. So partner steps to the inside, okay, I hold behind the knee, I step my second foot on the hip bone. I'm going to make space to shoot this hand through. Okay, so sometimes, you know, if your partner tries to run away, you might just be holding this heel to stop him running away briefly. Then I'm going to step my foot on the hip, control behind the knee. Okay, it's hard for me to shoot this hand through until I get a bend in his leg. Now there's space for me to shoot my hand through. So here, bend the leg, shoot my hand all the way through, and then hold the shin. Okay. If my partner doesn't do anything, okay, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going for this move because there might be better options in terms of spinning between your partner's legs and controlling the second leg. But if your partner purposely starts to turn, so you can't access the second leg, exactly, he's turning this knee in, that makes it easier for me to clear this shin of his knee and basically gives me opportunity to go for the saddle without the chance of getting countered. So take my shin out, hold the knee. Now I'm keeping this foot there, shooting my knee through, and then I cross my legs and try and hook my toes on his butt. Okay, so from here, his shin is on my bicep. I need to move so I can access the big toe with my free hand. Okay, and I want to pull up in this direction as I flare my knees and bridge sideways into the side of his knee. Okay, I need to make sure that my partner's heel doesn't slip this side as we're going, okay? So the main thing is that I'm not allowing his heel to cut across there, okay? So whilst I'm pulling the toes into my chest is also pushing into the side of the heel. I continue rolling my shoulders till we land in this position. If my partner continues trying to roll in that direction, okay, I can bridge and get a finish. If he stays where he is and I start to bridge, okay, he needs to lift his hips to take pressure off the heel. Okay, I'm gonna kick and set up, access the heel and the knee, pull it towards myself, and then back heel again. And then I can finish again, stepping my foot on the opposite foot, dipping my elbow between the two legs and holding outside the knee. Okay, so one more time. We're here. So you enter your reverse De La Riva. Okay, I'm stepping on the outside of the knee. If my partner decides to run away, let's say here, okay, I can just push my knee away from my chest and pull in with my hand, okay, to get good like counter pressure on the heel. So as he turns back to face me, I'm holding behind the knee. Make sure you don't put your whole foot on the side of their stomach there, because they can start to rip Istema locks. Go ahead. Exactly, yeah, and get quick breaks in your foot. So better to just have your toes there so you can remove it a bit more easily. Okay, so I bend the knee, shoot my arm elbow deep. So if you're unable to shoot your arm elbow deep, this isn't a technique for you basically. Like you can't be fat and do this. You need to have your elbow all the way through so you can hold your shin. From here, my partner starts to turn away. Okay, my heel clears his knee and I replace it straight away. I drive my knee through the gap and then I'm going to triangle my legs. Okay, so now I need a good means of taking my partner down to the floor, sitting them to a hip rack, because it's hard for me to off balance them from this position. So I'm going to catch the big toe, pull it towards my chest and bridge. Okay, now I continue rolling. And I'm looking to stuff the leg between my armpit if he doesn't roll, but my partner rolls, right? So from here, I can bridge, okay? Or if he just lifts his hips to defend the bridge, then I can kick, sit up. Okay, so it just basically makes it easier to kick and sit up. To sit up when you've kicked your legs. Now I'm going to access the calf and the top of the knee. Now I can shoot my leg through and collect the leg, rapid straight foot lock, go foot to foot, and then dip my elbow between the two legs to finish. Okay, one more time. So here, my partner tries to run away. I'm pulling, step on the hip, hook my leg, and then shoot my arm all the way through bicep deep, okay? So make sure your whole bicep is through, right, or else you won't have the leverage to lift your hips off the floor. I.e., if I'm here, it's going to be very difficult for me to get my hips off the floor and control his leg at the same time. So I'm deep, lift my hips off the floor, shoot my knee back through. Okay, only once I've shot this knee through do I put this leg between his legs, and then I hook his butt with my toes here. Okay, now I need a good means of getting him down, so I'm going to bridge. Okay, look for the big toe, and now I can pull the big toe up towards the top of my chest and start to roll over the top of my head to land in this position with my toes still hooking on his butt. If he continues trying to roll here, I just hold the big toe tight against my chest and bridge, and he's basically going to rake his own leg. Or if I start to do this bridge and he lifts his hips, I'm going to extend my legs and sit up. Okay, and then ignore this leg, okay, because you can assume that they know what they're doing. They're going to turn their leg out to hide it. Go for the knee and the heel. If they're still turning in this direction, right, so let's say you're heisting and turning that way, I can't just pull this leg towards me. I need to use my second knee to collect it. Now rapid straight foot lock grip. Hit my elbow between the two legs and step foot to finish. Okay. Okay, so for this next technique, it's another inversion to saddle, but this time I would prefer it because you control both legs and you're basically more likely to catch the heel as your partner's falling than the last one. Okay, so same as before, we're going to start in reverse De La Riva. Okay, I'm going to manage to get my hand all the way through. You see these gaps here as well. If there's gaps between your leg and your partner's leg, it's no good. It means you need to create more pressure with your pull, okay, and extend your leg more and turn more into your side, so there's no gaps between your leg and their leg. Okay, if there's gaps, it basically means it's much easier for them to run away, especially if it's slippery and you're both sweaty. Like your partner just running away halfway through the sequence isn't really what you want, so it's better to make sure, like, before you go for any sequences, that there's no physical gaps. So I shoot my arm all the way through and I hold my shin, okay? From here, it's going to be harder for my partner to just start to run away, right? So what I'm going to look to do, especially if I can't originally reach this far leg, is I'm going to start tipping my partner backwards and then forwards with my leg here. You see how I can do that, just move his leg away from me and in range. Okay, so what we're gonna do is tip my partner away. As they come back, I'm gonna kick to help myself invert without having to swing my leg all the way around, right? I wanna avoid having to do this because it's much easier for my partner to block it and pin it to the floor and then start to shin pummel over the top of my leg here. Okay, and then I basically lost my position and I'm more likely to get past than get any attacks going on him. So I tip backwards, tip forwards. As I come up, okay, so tip backwards. I can use this hook here to help me come up. Okay, I'm looking to control as far inside the leg as possible. So if I can creep this finger all the way around to the front of his knee, that would be ideal, okay, because it stops him from running away. From this position, I'm going to lift my hips off the floor, okay, and then I'm going to triangle my legs around my partner's leg, okay, around the second leg. And from here, I've already got a shotgun grip on my partner's calf, right, so it's going to be very hard for him to start to spin out, and I also have a grip on his second leg. So as my partner starts to sit to his hips to try and spin out, you know, and hide their heel, because I've already got the shotgun grip, it makes it very easy for me to put my elbow on the inside of the big toe here, okay? Then it makes it much harder for my partner to start to slip, okay? And easier for me to catch the heel. So I put my elbow on the floor next to the big toe, lift my hips off the floor, point my knees to my right hand side whilst holding this heel. So if my partner's still trying to turn in this direction, I have the heel blocked, right? So I can lift, point my knees, capture the heel, then I let go for my wrist to wrist grip, open my knees depending which side my partner's falling to, and finish. Okay, so again, so this side. Also, we start in this position, I shoot my hand all the way through, okay? I'm tipping my partner backwards. As he comes forward, okay, I can use that leg to help. I want to hold inside the knee, okay, and creep my hand as far around as possible, okay? This isn't a slow move, but I'm just showing it slow, you know, so you can see the details. Lift my hips off the floor, so once I capture that knee, right, I don't want to keep my hips low because then I'll be locking the triangle down here, okay? I need to be using my abs here to lift my hips off the floor as far as possible. Now I can connect to the leg, cross my legs, okay, and here if my partner starts to backstep to try and hide the heel, it's going to be very difficult because I have this second leg. So when he goes to lift his hips off the floor here, okay, he can do it, but it's hard for him to turn, and I can capture that second leg, okay, by lifting my hips off the floor, elbowing back, and then punching my hand through past the heel. Now I'm going to again lift the heel to my nose, connect to my wrist, and then put weight on the heel and start to finish. Okay, aiming to bring the toes, let's turn this way, aiming to bring the toes down in a circle towards my partner's butt, okay? So one more time, I'll do a bit faster this time. We're here, I step on the hip, shoot my hand through, okay? So if I can't reach this leg now, I'm going to tip backwards, okay? As my partner's off balance, slightly coming forwards, I'm going to kick behind, capture the leg, spin, triangle, and then look to capture the heel there. Okay, lift my hips off the floor, and then finish. Okay, so one more time. I tip backwards, start to tip towards me, capture, take my partner down. Okay, as my partner starts to turn in that direction, I'm holding the heel, so you see how my hand catches naturally on the heel. I lift my knees and point them to my right hand side to expose the heel. And now finally, I punch my hand through, okay? Now I can let go, connect to my grip. I don't need to put my hips on the floor at any point. If my partner continues rolling in that direction, just open my knees and bridge. Okay, if they fall back, then I want to fall in the same direction as them. Basically the rule is as long as you can keep your knee in that same line, you're going to be able to get good pressure down on your partner's hips, so you can basically push down on the toes and the hips at the same time whilst pulling up on the heel to get your finish. Okay. Okay, so for this next move, it's similar to the last move, except my partner's going to block my saddle leg. Okay, so we start in reverse de la Hiva again. Okay, I've got my foot on the hip. I start to look to shoot my hand all the way through and hold onto my shin. So once I've got this position again, it's harder for my partner to run away because I've basically got a closed circle around his leg, right? So he can't just extract the leg. So I'm going to start to look to invert, same as before. If I can't reach behind this leg, right, I can do the same tipping motion. I tip one way, tip the other way, using my leg to assist, and then I hold behind the knee. This time, I can't bring my foot to the inside, right, because he's blocking it. So I'm going to use that to help off-balance him in this direction, so using my leg. I'm also going to pull with my hands and swivel this foot all the way around till I get in front of his far hip. Okay, so from here, if I start to try and switch my underhook hand
to an overhook, my partner's going to be backstepping already, right? Because they're aware of the danger of the heel hook. So I want to shoot my second leg through, and I want to chop my partner down and try to collect both legs together as much as possible. Okay, so all this does basically is stops my partner from backstepping so quickly, right? It doesn't prevent them entirely from backstepping, it just slows them down. So from here, I want to be able to switch my grip again. So what I'm going to do is catch the toe and the heel, right? So as my partner starts to backstep, I'm going to go with them and use this leg to slow them down, and I'm going to roll all the way onto my far shoulder, okay? And tuck the toes under my armpit. So as he rolls again, I'm able to expose the heel and catch it, okay? If my partner continues rolling here, eventually he's going to free this knee, right? So, exactly, yeah. And as he does, I'm going to step that second foot onto his stomach, okay? So if I have both feet on his stomach, it's going to prevent my partner... It's going to prevent my partner from lifting his hips, okay, to take pressure off the heel hook. Like, for example, if I'm here, right, he can just lift his hips off the floor, yeah, and he can use his second leg to free my grips, okay, or he can sit forward and hold my head and my elbow to stop me finishing. If I have both my feet on his stomach, I'm not looking to boot him away, right, I'm just looking to pull towards me, okay, lift my hips off the floor, right, and if I start to bridge there, obviously my partner's leg is going to break, so you've got to do that one carefully, okay, so you're just lifting your hips, keeping the heel where it is. If you feel like your partner's heel is going to slip, right, because your elbow doesn't have too much space here, I can hold the heel with my free hand just to make sure that it doesn't start to slip out, and then I can again lift my hips off the floor to get a finish. So, one more time we're here, okay, I underhook, okay, I'm tipping to try and get my partner's far leg with my hand, and again I want to creep my hand as far through as possible. I invert, spin my leg all the way through, and extend onto the far hip. Okay, so this hook here stops my partner from running away, right? If he just tries to sprint away from me, go for it. Okay, see my foot there is hooking onto his hip, it makes it difficult. My second leg helps to chop him down all the way to his knees, and then from here I'm looking to control the heel and the toe. Right, if my partner doesn't move, I just tuck the toes under my armpit, okay, or into my bicep ideally, and then I'm going to connect my grip, take my foot out along the line of his butt, and then I'm going to open my knees and bridge. But most good guys, or people who know what's going on, they're going to start to backstep, right? So I'm going to go with them. I'm tucking the toe under my armpit, and then I'm catching the heel. Okay, if he continues turning here, I'm going to let him turn without me, and I'm going to tuck my foot just to the inside here to land in this in this crisscross position. Okay, and then you can finish either here or taking your feet to the outside, and again lifting and pulling the heel up to your nose. Okay, so one more time. So you step on the hip. Okay, shoot my arm all the way through. I'm trying to invert to saddle, right, but he's blocking the leg, so I don't have that opportunity anymore. So I half invert, catch behind the knee, swivel my foot all the way around, and hook behind that, in front of that far hip. Shoot my leg through the gap and chop down. Okay, and then from this position, right, my partner could stay there and just allow me to catch the heel. Okay, in which case I'll just catch the heel, start, turn belly down. You can finish here, or you can finish by bringing your feet to the inside. Or if before I catch the heel, my partner starts to backstep, right, I'm looking to catch the toes, I'm rolling with them, and I'm looking to tuck the toe under my armpit and then catch the heel. Okay, from this position, my partner can continue rolling, right? Yes, I need to make sure to get my foot to the inside. If you roll back one sec. If my partner manages to step behind this knee and kick on it, okay, it's no good, right? I won't be able to keep that knee, and I won't be able to finish the heel hook. So if you imagine my knee is here and my partner's knee is here, I just need to tuck my foot along my partner's butt. So as he tries to kick on the back of my knee, I can flare that knee, okay, and there's no space to do that. Okay, if he continues rolling here, then I can step both my feet on his stomach to finish, or you can keep your foot to the inside. Both are good options, okay, and then you're finishing, flaring your knees and bridging. Okay, one more time. Good here. He's blocking the far leg. Okay, I tip, kick, spin, swivel my leg all the way through, and then my second leg chops. Okay, control the heel and the toes. So my hand that's underhooking, okay, is going to go to the toe, and the opposite hand goes to the heel. Okay, my partner's going to start rolling to back step. I want to roll all the way onto my far shoulder, and then tuck the toes under my armpit. Collect the heel, okay. As my partner continues rolling, I'm just bringing my foot to the inside, and we finish in this position. Okay, so kind of like a combo of saddle and 50-50. I'm going to just sit up, connect to the heel, make sure my partner's heel doesn't slip, and I'm just sitting back slowly to get the finish. Yeah. Okay, so for this next one, we're not basically going to be able to get our underhook grip. So It's more from a knee shield than a reverse De La Riva. As we try to set up our reverse De La Riva, our partner drops to their knee, right, to prevent it, okay? So we're gonna lock up our knee shield again to stop our partner getting his knee to the floor, right? So it basically doubles up the strength of just this one toe. Without the hands, might not be enough to stop his knee coming to the floor. When you double up on the shin, I can extend my legs, and if he tries to drive his knee to the floor now, okay, it's very difficult. So I can't really shoot for the underhook here, right? I won't be able to get bicep deep. What I can do is catch the sole of the foot, okay? So it's a pretty useless grip for most scenarios, but in one direction, it's a good grip, right? So I'm gonna push my partner away just to get the forward reaction of him coming forward. As he does, I'm gonna pull this heel in the direction of the knee and catch behind the armpit and start to spin through, okay? Once I get in range of this leg, I'm gonna switch to the top of that leg, and now I'm gonna hold on the top of the shin, right? So I wanna transition. This grip isn't very useful to stop my partner running away. So if he just decides to sprint away, okay, I'm gonna lose that grip, okay? But as soon as he comes past me, see I have these fingertips on the front of his far knee, I wanna switch my hand to the front of his shin, and now this foot is gonna hook in front of his thigh, and my second knee is gonna come in between his legs, and I'm gonna land in this like reverse X position with the leg in front of my body. Okay, so this is a very good position. You have options to enter the saddle, okay, from here, with the legs still, with both legs controlled, okay, or, let's go one more time. So same start before, my partner's on their far knee, okay, I catch just on the sole of the foot, so my thumb is basically on top of the heel there. I push away, I catch behind the armpit, I start spinning, and now I switch, okay? So I switch from the sole of the foot to the front of the shin. I'm gonna continue spinning, and then wrap a straight footlock grip. So this is the ideal grip, right? Straight footlock grip or an Achilles grip is gonna make it very hard for my partner to run away. So the last option we had, right? I was holding this, and I was shuffling my legs to get to saddle. So do that one more time. Elevating, I hold in front of the kneecap, I shoot my leg through and then collect, then I can start to look for saddle. My second option, okay, would be to go for 50-50 on this leg, right? So what I can do is extend my partner's legs away, okay, and then swing my leg over the top here to look to go to backside 50-50, capture the heel, and then turn belly down to finish, same as before. Okay. So one more time. We try to enter our reverse De La Riva, but my partner manages to get their hips in front of my foot, right? So it's hard for me to step that foot back on the hip. So I'm gonna look to cross my legs, and I don't need any grips at the start, right? He's just trying to force his knee to the floor, and he might be trying to get a collar tie or an underhook here, which would be useful for him. So I want to keep the grips away from my top half, okay? Then when I'm ready, I'm gonna catch the sole of the foot with my inside hand, and my second hand's gonna look for the armpit. Now I bring both my knees into my chest, okay? And it brings the second leg in range. I start to pass the second leg over the top of my head, or pass my head between the second leg, and I switch this hand now from the sole of the foot to the front of the shin. So I can start to switch my legs, okay, to this sort of reverse X position, and now I just need to shuffle my knee from one side to the opposite side, okay? So from here, my next move is going to depend on what my partner's doing, right? So if he stays facing the way he is, I would be much better off going for a backside 50-50 entrance, where I step my foot on the back of his knee, step on the armpit, turn. Now I can swing my leg over the top, extend through, and I have the heel already exposed. Okay, so that would be an ideal option, right? Because you finish in with a heel hook already captured. Let's say I'm back here and my partner starts to turn to face me. Yeah, this is going to be a better time to go for the second leg, right? Because as he turns to face me, he's giving me more options on this leg. Basically, he's turning his knee to face me so I can catch it easier. And once we land here again, you could just solidify control, okay? Or if you feel like you have a good opportunity to catch the heel, you can go for the heel hook there as well. Okay, take your hand out and connect, and then finish depending what butt cheek your partner is on. Okay, so one more time. Let's go this way. Of course, over here, I didn't manage to get my foot on the hip, right? So I can't really keep the distance long enough to get my underhook. I'm going to cross my legs, okay? Now look for the grip on the sole of the foot. Bring my knees into my chest and bicep curl with my right hand as I pull his armpit, okay? Get his second leg just about in range. So it might not be such a big off balance, right? It might just be a little off balance. Then I switch, come all the way through. My hand lets go and I hold the top of his shin. Shoot through. Okay, if he stays facing away from me, I want to make a bit of space, step behind the far knee, okay? And now I can swing, notice my hand here as well, goes to the top of his knee rather than punching all the way through. Hold the top of his knee, swing my leg over the top, reach through, and then capture the heel, and then start to finish going belly down. Okay, second option, if we're here, my partner starts to turn back to face me, right? So it's going to be less easy to get to, you know, swing my leg over the top here because his knee is pointing out to the outside. So I have options. I can either go to saddle, standing and taking the saddle, or my final option, if my partner manages to jump his knee over this foot here, yeah, then I'm going to look to swing this leg all the way over the top to saddle. So I take the foot out, I chop down heavily because it's going to help me to lift my hips off the floor and bring them around his knee in a circle, whilst using my right leg here to kick and turn my hips out so I have a better angle to bring this foot on the inside of his leg. Let's turn a little bit. So here, he's just cleared my foot from the reverse X. I hold the top of the knee, chop my leg over the top. I use my right leg, okay, to help me turn my hips all the way over the top of his hips, cross my legs through, and then we're back to rolling through and try and expose the heel from this direction. Okay, so one more time. Let's start from this way. So here, partner drops to their knee, I cross my legs, I'm framing, I catch the sole of the foot, push away, pull in. Okay, I keep swiveling, get all the way to my reverse X position, okay, and then from here, my partner clears the bottom toes, okay, so I hold the top of the knee, I make sure my knee isn't getting stepped over, right, so I don't want my partner to jump over my knee here and land in a knee on belly, okay, so make sure when you're doing this, your hand is either ready to frame on his shoulder or hold the top of his knee. I throw my left leg over the top. Now I'm using my right leg here to move my butt over the top. I pummel this leg all the way through, and now I'm still using this right toe to roll over. I look at the heel and catch the heel at the end of the move. Okay, next.